This is National Native News. I'm Megan Kamrick in for Antonia Gonzalez. In Maine, a new law aims to reset a troubled history between tribes and the state government by raising water quality standards for sustenance fishing. Isaac Kestenbaum reports from Maine.
Maine Governor Janet Mills recently signed into law a bill titled An Act to Protect Sustenance Fishing. It will increase water quality criteria and select waters chosen by Maine tribes. At a recent public hearing, State Department of Environmental Protection Commissioner Gerald Reed explained just how high the new criteria is.
Our proposed rate of 200 grams per day was a conscious choice to establish in Maine the most protective fish consumption rate in the country.
Reed hopes these high standards will resolve a years-long conflict, one that pitted the state of Maine against the federal EPA and Maine's tribes over water quality. This new law was written in collaboration between the state of Maine and the tribes. Reed sees it as a new beginning.
It's a way to begin rebuilding trust and goodwill following years of disagreements and litigation, and I look forward to continuing to work with the tribes on other similar projects.
Molly and Dana, the Penobscot Nation ambassador, also sees reasons to be optimistic for a new relationship with the state.
I do think that we appreciate the good faith effort and the consultation and the follow-up, and this bill takes a very important step in a very critical area.
There are still unresolved issues between the state and Maine tribes, notably over sovereignty and jurisdiction. But in this instance, those have been set aside.
We've taken a lot of the politics out of it, and we've really focused on the health and safety of not just our people, but all people. So I guess a lot of the discontent may have been uncomfortable, but may have been useful, and I think that we're quite happy with this bill.
The new law is set to go into effect sometime this fall. For National Native News, I'm Isaac Kestenbaum.
A woman sentenced to 4 years in prison for a Native American child adoption scam has been released to a transitional halfway house after just 6 months. Betty Jo Krenz was a caseworker for the Spirit Lake Tribal Social Services in North Dakota. After getting fired from that job, she was charged with fraud for trying to sell the child of a Spirit Lake member without the mother's knowledge or consent. The Fargo Forum reports Krenz was released to a privately operated minimum security rehabilitation center. The news alarmed even Krenz's own daughter, who called her mother a con artist on social media and said Krenz may not be violent, but she's a danger to the public. A new cancer center has opened its doors on the Navajo Nation. Officials with Tuba City Hospital say it's the first of its kind on any reservation that offers full-service treatment and culturally appropriate care. Center operators say it should improve treatment for Navajo, Hopi, and San Juan Southern Paiute tribal members, among others. Laurel Morales from KJZZ's Fronteras desk in Flagstaff reports.
Navajos with cancer often must travel more than 100 miles to visit an oncologist. Navajo President Jonathan Nez said in a statement, many should be receiving treatment several times a month, but often can't afford to pay for gas. Native Americans are disproportionately affected by certain cancers, according to the National Institutes of Health. American Indians have the lowest survival rates with the disease, with cancers often detected at later stages. On the Navajo Nation, decades of uranium mining led to a dramatic spike in cancer rates, and hundreds of abandoned mines await cleanup. The Tuba City Regional Healthcare Corporation has worked for several years to raise the funds and forge the partnerships with universities and healthcare companies to open the center. I'm Laura Morales in Flagstaff.
For National Native News, I'm Megan Kamrick.
National Native News is produced by Koahnic Broadcast Corporation, with funding by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Support by Ramona Farms, offering wholesome and delicious foods from our heirloom crops as our contribution to a better diet for the benefit of all people. We are honored to share our centuries-old farming and culinary traditions online at ramonafarms.com. From northern Minnesota, Red Lake Nation Foods is pleased to support this show and share the bounty of the harvests, wild rice products, and wild fruit jams, jellies, and syrups produced by American Indians and available at redlakenationfoods.com.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.